I'm very happy to meet with all of you here this evening. Lama Chime Rinpoche asked me to be here for quite some time, and also many of the students in Germany asked me to come and chat and teach. But somehow I could not manage satisfactorily until this year. I was here in Germany last year, but just for very few days. Anyway, this time I'm able to make it. I'm very happy about it. And also Chuje Akung Rinpoche and very venerable Tenka Rinpoche, both of them are here, and I'm very, very happy to be with them always. Both Tenka Rinpoche and Akung Rinpoche and Lama Chime Rinpoche as well, we somehow knew each other for quite some time. Far as I can remember. And there's supposed to be some kind of, let's say, friendship with us for quite few hundred years, but I don't remember a thing. So now we get down to our subject. Tonight I will be explaining briefly about refuge and bodhicitta. And also for the request, I'm willing to give refuge vow and bodhisattva vow for those who are interested. So that is the kind of few things that we're going to do this evening. And this bodhicitta is inspiration bodhicitta. There is two steps in bodhisattva vow, and this is inspiration, the first step. Now the first, refuge. Refuge is actually a way to understand and also way to involve as well as engage in the principle of Buddhism. Refuge is principle of Buddhism. Now, you need to know what is Buddha, what is Dharma, and what is Sangha, and also you need to know what do you mean by taking refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. You need to know all of that to start with. So when we say Buddha, it is quite important to know the meaning which is behind the word Buddha. This word, when it is translated into Tibetan language, then it says Sang Je. Sang means awakened. Je means fully developed. So, a person like us, we can awake and we can develop for the completeness of our awakened state and for the completeness of our developed state. So how far a human being can keep on developing is until you become the Buddha. So a state of consciousness beyond of any limitation, which is fully developed and fully awakened, that is what means by Buddha. The word Buddha means that. Now, when we say Dharma, it actually means to attain that state of realization, so-called Buddha. It will not just happen as an accident. There will not be an accident Buddha. So it has to go through the right intention, right action. When you do the right thing, the right result will happen. So you have to go through path which involves with right intention and right action. And how to go about it? We can guess. But through guessing, it is rather hard to get it all together. So a person who attained that state of realization, Buddha, 2,500 and few more years ago, he shared every steps of process that he went through to become Buddha. He shared this with his disciples. He told this to his disciples. He taught them. So his advice is a path which is safe, which is sure, and which is based on the gradual process that Buddha himself went through. So that is the teaching which is given by Buddha, and that is the Dharma. So it boils down to a very simple point, that Dharma means how to go about awakening and developing a ever-present potential that we all host within ourselves. So how to go about it? The guide, a kind of advice which is given by Buddha. So that is Dharma. So Sangha means Buddha himself, he did not attain realization just by knowing. He did not attain realization just by wanting. He did not attain realization just by imagining. He have done everything what is necessary. So he attained realization. Now his disciples, when he taught, those disciples, more than just learning, more than just talking, those disciples who practiced in a sense the understanding which they have developed, understanding which they have received through the teaching, they themselves engaged in it. They lived with it. So they somehow developed and accomplished result out of their practice. So they are the sanghas. So the lineage comes there because we can just read books and practice. It might work, but it might not work. And there is more chance for it might not work. 1 million people read one book. They understand in 1 million different ways. So the result will be 1 million different result. That is quite certain. So the importance of lineage comes there at this point. The Sangha who already have learned, who already practicing, they are our guidance and our company. So we ourselves learn and practice. Those who have learned before us, we take advice from them, and those who learn and practice together with us, they are our company. Now, that is a kind of brief introduction to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha in a very general manner. Now, when we take refuge, then there is 2 important points that we have to know. The first one is we can say external refuge. The second one we can say internal refuge, the outside and the inside. The external refuge involves historical Buddha, the Siddhartha, Buddha Shakyamuni, and his teaching, the teaching that spoke by him, the 3 yanas, and his followers, the bodhisattvas, highly realized individuals, and great masters through the history of Buddhism. And these are the 3 things which we should understand as an external refuge. In external refuge, you take refuge to Buddha as teacher. You take refuge to Dharma as path. And you take refuge to Sangha as guide and accompany. When it comes to the internal refuge, then Buddha is our ultimate aim, our ultimate potential. We all host or possess Buddha nature since ever. What Buddha has awakened and developed, we all have it, but ours one is, I'm afraid, that it is not awakened and it is not developed. Unfortunately, I think, or fortunately. So our ultimate aim is to attain realization, or otherwise they also use this word to attain Buddhahood, and I don't know what the hood means. Now, in this case, Dharma means our action, our intention, how we live, why we live, and everything that we engage, the totalness of ourself, our body, our speech, our thought and mind. So the entire ourself involved with right action and right intention. So that is inner way to take refuge to Dharma. Sangha at this point is we ourselves to become guidance and accompany for everyone. It doesn't mean we should go and knock on other people's door and saying, "Hey you, here I am to help you." But being generous with whatever we develop as understanding, as knowledge, as attainment, wisdom, we just simply let it go, and without making big deal about it. So that is an inner way of taking refuge to Sangha. And at this point, I think I explained about refuge briefly so that you know both the meaning of the refuge and also how to go about it, both externally and internally. And those of you who already have taken refuge, have learned about refuge, it will be something like reminder. Once again, a reminder. And those of you who are taking refuge today new, for you it will be introduction. Namo Buddha, Namo Dhamma, Namo Sangha, Namo Buddha, Namo Dhamma, Namo Sangha, Namo Buddha, Namo Dhamma, Namo Sangha. Since you received refuge vow, to make it meaningful and don't go against the principle of refuge, you have to be aware of few vows which are related with refuge. Now, there is quite few details in refuge vow, but simply we can include them all in three major and main refuge vow. Of course, one is related with Buddha, first, second is related with Dharma, and third is related with Sangha. The first one related with Buddha is that anything which will not bring us to our destination, the realization, enlightenment, such as power, fame, fortune, we can relate to them and we can respect them if it is necessary, but we can never take refuge under power, under fortune, under fame, because we cannot buy enlightenment and we cannot force enlightenment, and I don't think we can influence enlightenment. The influence? Going through friends, like connections and all that sort of thing. Making deals. If you give me enlightenment, I will get something done for you. Since we take refuge to Dharma, we have to do our best to be helpful and beneficial as possible to ourselves and to others, and keep away from whatever is harmful and meaningless for ourselves and others. We do our best. If we do our best from our heart, that is good enough. And some people say doing best is not good enough. I don't think that's quite practical. The last one related with Sangha is until we are confident enough and until we are developed enough, we keep away from negative situation and negative surrounding. Because instead of being helpful, it will be harmful. Because at the beginning, we are not really capable of dealing with it. And when we are capable and developed, then we get into it. Because who have the most negativity needs the most help. So we have to be able to assist and be helpful. So that is the third vow, which is related with Sangha. Okay. Then the others, which are somehow considered refuge vow, will be related with these three main ones: respecting anything which involves with Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and practicing this principle in everyday situation, and so forth. That's all about refuge. And now bodhicitta. The inspiration bodhicitta. Now, inspiration bodhicitta is beginning of bodhisattva vow. And it involves with one basic vow and also the right action and right intention which involves with it. So the main vow which involves here is, since we take the inspiration bodhicitta, we should not abandon any sentient beings. Abandoning sentient being means by thinking and saying and also meaning that I will not be helpful at all whatsoever to this person. And if you say it from your heart, then you break the inspiration bodhisattva vow. So that means if there is anyone that you have in your life, that person irritates you the worst, even that person you have to include in your prayer. You have to include in your dedication, and you have to be open. If there is any chance for you to be helpful to that person, then you will be helpful. It doesn't mean you will still try to, let's say, force your actions to help that person, even in a situation where it really doesn't work. It doesn't mean that. You can leave somebody alone. You can also say kind of words, saying, I don't want to talk to you because we don't communicate. That's all right. That's wise sometimes. But if you say from your heart, I'm not going to be helpful for this person at all, that's no good. So I think you got it clear. And now the related vows are directly connected with these, such as practice of 6 parimita, and also encouraging the other's inspiration, and also making sure you don't cause others to discourage their inspiration. All that sort of the details are based on this one simple but very important principle of bodhicitta. And just for your information, for a bodhisattva vow, there's about 18 main vow with quite few related vow. But at this point, for inspiration bodhicitta, this one main thing, if you really keep it from your heart, then this will cover. This will cover. When you take the bodhisattva vow, you also have to repeat this text with me. The meaning is, I take refuge to Buddha, I take refuge to Dharma, I take refuge to Sangha. Then it follows how the past bodhisattvas have taken the inspirational bodhicitta and how they practiced it. I also will take it, and I also will practice. So that is the, let's say, brief version of the meaning which is behind this text that you're going to repeat. At this point, to be simple, I will not give you a separate name for bodhicitta. Your refuge name, you can add bodhisattva. But you make sure that you don't get carried away by going around and telling people, my name is bodhisattva, blah, blah, blah. Okay. We have somehow participated in refuge and bodhisattva or bodhicitta vow, and I received this refuge and bodhisattva vow from my main guru, main teacher, His Holiness Karmapa, and this goes back to many hundreds of years in Tibet, and this originally goes back to India, to the time of Buddha. So we somehow participated in it, and the teachings that I have received on this are from my teacher, late His Holiness Karmapa, and also quite few other great masters that I consider very important for my... Actually, I don't know what to call it. Spiritual path sounds a little bit mysterious. And religious process, something is missing. And my development sounds a bit arrogant. So I don't know the exact word for this, but I think you got the meaning, so that's a deal, okay? So we have something to dedicate here, right now, because we have been through two quite important things as Vajrayana Buddhism is concerned. The refuge is the principle, and bodhicitta is to deepen the principle. So principle of principle is bodhicitta, and so we somehow participated in these two. That makes us right now here with us. There's something to dedicate. And together with all of you have learned and practiced for quite some time. Most of you, I think, it looks like that to me. You're wearing malas around your neck and you repeat text and do prayers quite fluently. So that means you are familiar. So there is quite a lot to dedicate, I'm quite certain. And especially here in this program, since you started the program until now, you practiced, you also have learned, the teachers taught, all of you have learned, listened, practiced. So there is quite few things that we can dedicate. So let us do a short but sincere dedication. Sunam Deya Tamje Zebanye Tamnenya Tanam Bamjene Jaga Nanje Balan Dubaye Zevental Doa Dovara Jo Jambala Bave Jedaran Jambada Kundo Zambo Teyan Tejen Teda Gunje Jeso Dalo Jengewan Deda Tam Raudo Ngo Simchen Tamje Deda Denjuru Jengendo Tamje Dado Dombar Chanchu Samba Konda Sajuba Deda Gunj Mala Dandu Jo Chanju Semjo Rinpoche Maje Panam Jeju Jeba Nyamba Mebrai Kune Kundu Bewara Jo Jina Dewa Tsusu Ngo Pende Namka Ja Duna Kunje Dungara Gurung Kuruwa Dungarje Jamso Dombar Yo.
I think tomorrow possible Rinpoche may be a little bit too tight, so therefore Tenga Rinpoche will give some introduction on Rinpoche's giving the empowerment initiations and other things possible. We will do that 10 o'clock. And there is no danger for me to be arrogant to say tonight, but all the Sudhas, they have been the Guru of Karmapa, you know. All Sudhas, they have been the Guru for the Karmapas. So for me to
and
say
all the
no
Karmapas
danger,
have been the Guru to this.
So therefore I have to tell you because you don't know, because some of the people really, you don't read it, all the sadhus, they have been the guru for the Karmapas. All Karmapas they follow. So all the Karmapas main gurus are sadhus. So Sadhu become the Karmapas main guru, Karmapas become the Sadhu's main guru. That's how our lineage goes like that. So I'll let you know. So I hope Rinpoche wouldn't be too angry with me. So I'm not too arrogant, so it's all right.
Maybe I have to say a little bit here. He give me no choice. All the Karmapas have been the guru for the Situ. That was the way. And also all the Situs have somehow served Karmapa in passing the lineage. That is quite true. I don't remember a thing about my past life. But I have no reason not to believe, and also it doesn't bother me, because I believe my teacher, Karmapa. I believe him. So that's good enough for me.